Alright, hello everyone, Simon here, welcome back to our Minecraft Trains project. So, where are we? Just trying to figure out where we are. This is the junction to 4-1 spawn. At the end of last week, Wesley finished marking out this path. So I guess I should mark out the path to 4-2. Hey Wesley, welcome back. What are we doing? I think this week we're just gonna casually build these or mark out these trackways, right? So this is the junction to 4-2 Solace, and I think Solace is up there. We have to bridge over this stuff. What do you want to do, Wesley? I mean, we've marked out. I marked out all the stations and junctions, and we just need to join them up, right? Is that right? Solace is there. Yes. All right. There's a mountain here, which is interesting, but we will just sidestep it. Can figure out 4-3. Okay. Well, I'll do 4-2. You can work on 4-3, and then we'll just alternate, I guess. Okay, the flying thing, it seems like you have to reset the run when you're flying, otherwise you slow down for no good reason. Hey Q, welcome back. So I think here we bridge across, ramp down, diagonal over here, although there's a giant cave underneath here. It's actually rather giant, look at this place. Ramp down, diagonal across, and then ramp back up, and then diagonal across, and then straight across, and then ramp up and down, and then diagonal across, and then straight in. Alright, that's pretty simple. Pretty simple, alright, let's do that. Nothing special today, Q. We're just joining the junctions to the stations. Although I do notice that this doesn't exactly line up. Okay, where does this line up to? Do I wanna... diagonal across or straight across? I guess straight across. It's a bit too complicated to diagonal across. Alright, let's go. Through these trees. Q and Wesley, do you guys play, or have you guys played Skyrim? Or I guess Oblivion too. The Elder Scrolls games by Bethesda. Oh, they announced the Fallout 70 something. What is it, 76? Skyrim, yes. Oblivion, no. So, in the middle of the night last night, I was thinking... Skyrim is top 3 game, oh yeah, cool. So you guys are familiar with the game systems. So, in the middle of the night last night, I was thinking... How might we, make the game simulate a broken policing system that is similar to the kind of crap that happens in the United States. And I thought, what if every time a guard talks to you, there's a 50% chance you get a 20 gold fine for no reason, you just get a fine. What would happen? How would that affect your interactions with the guards if that were the case? I haven't tried it. I'm gonna make that mod, I think. It should be a pretty simple mod to make. But the idea is to create a system where you don't trust the police anymore, and the police do unreasonable things to you. But it's only a very small change. It's only a very, very small change to the rules. And it's basically it's like a society where there are unreasonable fines, basically. Q says ability to talk to guards. No, but sometimes when you walk past them, they'll talk to you. Like when you walk past them, they'll say, I got shot, I took an arrow to the knee. Whenever they do that, you get a random fine. It's not that you talk to them, they just walk past and then they give you a fine, is the idea. But basically it's like broken taillights policing and things like stop and frisk, right? Like stop and frisk is basically you get accosted for no reason. But the way they work now, you can run away for example bounties. Yes, but if you run away, the bounties just accumulates. Eventually you're gonna go into town and you just have a massive bounty if you keep running away. Q says, well then I imagine I have the bounties on my head on all the holes for mass murder of guards. Yeah, but that's the commentary I want to make, Q, is that even just a small change like that will eventually escalate into you becoming a hardened criminal, quote unquote hardened criminal. It's basically inducing you into becoming a criminal through a very small change in the rules. I was saying, like, stop and frisk. Basically, stop and frisk is the police just kind of stopping you for no reason and looking for a reason to fine you, right? That's what stop and frisk is. And like in the United States, like the cops will just pull you over for no reason and check you. So basically, that change would simulate cops just randomly finding reasons to fine you every now and then. And as you say, Q, it'll probably end up with you getting into fights with the guards and murdering a lot of them. Alright, so I think I ramped down here. Wesley says it happens a lot if you have modified cars in America. Yeah, that's right. But there's also it's also a society where there are rules for like basically nothing. Like there are laws that don't really make any sense as well. I don't know if you guys keep up with the news, but you know there is a certain strain of racism in the States as well, and like a black person will get arrested doing things that white people don't get arrested for sometimes, just for no good reason. And so this kind of like a random arrest and random fines, it becomes sort of like a Kafka-esque, incomprehensible situation where you don't know how to stay out of trouble. Like there's no way for you to stay out of trouble. Like the law makes trouble with you, right? It's like a Kafka nightmare. Anyway, I'm gonna make this mod in my spare time. Maybe by this time next week, I'll have made it. And I imagine a lot of like emergent behavior would come out of it. Like, even if you don't actually get into fights with guards, you would start to avoid the guards, right? I mean, your behavior would change. And so then, like, you know, why are you avoiding the guards? Have you done something wrong? Why you like that kind of attitude is like, well, you must have done something wrong if you're avoiding the guards. But no, if you just have a situation where the guards can fine you for like no good reason, then you would avoid the guards. So why are you acting like a criminal? Why are you running away from the guards for no reason? Yeah, because they find you for no reason, right? Anyway, that's my social experiment for the week. Trying to create a nightmare scenario where you get accosted for no reason and fined for no reason. And I'm thinking Skyrim because Skyrim and Oblivion too. Like, oh, but Oblivion, you haven't played Oblivion, you guys say. The old memes. So Oblivion, when it first came out, the guards were a little bit over eager, and like you pick up a plate or something, and they'll yell at you. They'll yell, "Stop, criminal scum!" And then they'll like they act really aggressive for even very small infractions. And at the time, the players, it became a meme, right? Q says I played it when it came out, not for a few years, yeah. And so it was this kind of meme where would they throw you in jail after a while maybe, or try? Yeah, like if you just, like if you don't reply for a while, like if you don't kind of comply and pay money, then they'll throw you in jail as well. So like it was, at the time, people found it really funny how excessive it was. Because like the guys are yelling at you for picking up a plate. And so what I'm thinking is kind of an extension of that, right? Kind of extend that to like formalize the unreasonable amount of policing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it was funny at the time, but in today's context, with the increased attention being paid to police brutality and everything else, actually, it's not that funny. Actually, it's just real. Stop, criminal scum. That was pretty good. But it was, yeah, it is sad to think about. But at the time, people like it's so obviously wrong when it happens. Let's see, we're gonna ramp up here. I guess it would be like a simulation of a police state with too many rules and too many fines. And I guess we can also consider it to be a simulation of corrupt cops as well. Like imagine if cops just kind of pull you over and demand money, which is what corrupt cops do in places where police corruption happens a lot. It's like they just literally give you an arbitrary fine for no reason, just to get money out of you, right? Police corruption, where a while back I think India had a reputation for corrupt cops, although not just India, it's just one example. There are other places too. What places are there? Police corruption. Hong Kong too, although that was a while ago. Brazil, yeah? Maybe I should like look this stuff up. Is police corruption a big deal in Brazil? I think it is. Let me just hold on. Let me just type this in. Police corruption Brazil. Back in 2017, largest ever police corruption case unfolds in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro. Corruption in Brazil. Well, there's a Wikipedia page for it. Wow. Wow. There's a whole Wikipedia page for it. It seems quite dramatic. Police corruption. There's a game called This Is the Police, and it's kind of about the same kind of topics. But you know, like a game that is specifically designed to portray police corruption, it's interesting, but I'm more interested in like a systems perspective of it. Like, you know, you can design, or you can just make a small adjustment to a system, and you turn it from being a fair system to an unfair system, right? And that's what I want to try with the Skyrim mod thing, which is like, you just make a small adjustment. You just say, well, there's more fines in this society. you just change the society, you just add more fines. And would that change player behavior? Would that change everything? Would it change people's perception of justice? Just by making a small change. And of course, it reflects back on the real world. You know, things like tough on crime policies. And, you know, as we say, stop and frisk. Things like that. How much of a difference does that make? Like, can it turn a reasonable system into a deeply unjust system just through a few changes? I actually think we don't want to go up here. We want to go diagonal. Yeah, let's not go up here. And then we go diagonal this way. I mean, there's arguments, or there's the assertion that it's not really bad cops, it's a bad system. Like, you know, like, is it the people or is it the system? And one argument is that if you have a bad system, even good people will end up doing bad things if the system is designed to work that way, right? And it goes for both sides of the coin. Like, the bad system can turn good cops into bad cops, but also presumably a bad system can turn good citizens into bad citizens. And then we go up. Okay, here we go up. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, the thing in Oblivion, the stop criminal scum thing in Oblivion. Like, what? And it's difficult to imagine if you don't live in that kind of context too. I mean, the idea that the cops might just shoot you because they think your cell phone looks like a gun. Like, oh yeah, he's holding something, shoot him. And like, that's an actual thing that happens to black people in America. Like, you're just walking past, holding a phone, and you just get shot. So, like, the overreaction, which, you know, was so... Cut your nose. the overreaction that was so crazy. Yeah, Wesley. It was so crazy back in Oblivion when it happened in fiction. I mean, obviously people knew that wasn't right. Like it was clearly incorrect when people encountered it in Oblivion, right?